Hey there, viewers! You may have heard the name triglycerides. It's a common term we hear when talking blood cholesterol levels. High triglycerides are certainly not good for you, but what exactly are they? In today's video, we'll be talking about triglycerides in detail. How are triglycerides different from your blood cholesterol? Why should you be worried if it's high? How can you bring your triglyceride levels down? Which foods can help? We'll be talking about all of these and more. Let's first figure out what exactly triglycerides are. While fat is common in various parts of the body, it's also in your blood as well. It's present in the form of triglycerides. These are formed by your body using extra calories from your meal. These extra calories are then stored in the form of fat cells for use later. The main difference is triglycerides store unused calories and provide your body with energy, while cholesterol is used to build certain hormones and cells. But this doesn't mean you start hating on triglycerides. Your body needs them. Triglycerides are necessary, especially when your body is in need of an energy supply. But when you have too much of it in your blood, it can lead to heart-related issues and increase your risk of heart disease. So, how do you know what your triglyceride count is? Well, you'll have to get your cholesterol levels checked. When your total cholesterol levels are being calculated, it will be an addition of HDL, LDL, and VLDL cholesterols in your body. To calculate your VLDL levels, triglyceride content will be used. Essentially, when you eat food high in fat content, you'll be increasing your cholesterol levels, along with a higher amount of triglycerides in your body. But why should you be concerned about high triglyceride levels in the first place? When your triglyceride count is high, it can lead to hardening of your arteries. In other words, your artery walls thicken. This increases your risk of heart attack, stroke, and heart disease. Extremely high levels of triglycerides are very concerning because it can cause inflammation of your pancreas. High triglyceride levels can be a sign of prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. It can also be an indication that you have metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome is a cluster of conditions like high triglycerides, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and high cholesterol. You might also find yourself accumulating too much fat around your waist. High triglyceride levels could also indicate low levels of thyroid hormones or a genetic condition impacting how your body converts fat into energy. So now you see how important it is to keep your triglyceride levels at a healthy level. There are a few things you can do to bring down the triglyceride levels in your body. The first step is to reduce the amount of sugar you consume every day. Most people have a good amount of sugar in their diet unless they make an effort to reduce it. Experts suggest that the maximum amount of added sugar you can have is 150 calories per day. However, research has shown that Americans have as much as 308 calories in the form of added sugar. The biggest sources of added sugar are usually soft drinks and canned fruit juice. If you eat sweets regularly, this also adds extra calories of added sugar. When there is extra sugar in your body, it will be converted into triglycerides. In one study, more than 6,500 participants were divided into two groups: those who had sugar-sweetened beverages and those who did not. The group that consumed beverages high in sugar had a 50% higher chance of having triglyceride levels compared to the group that did not have those beverages. The good news is, research suggests that having a diet low in carbs can reduce the number of triglycerides in your blood. Even switching from sugar-sweetened beverages to water has been shown to bring down triglyceride levels. Wondering what other ways there are to cut down on your sugar intake? Well, for starters, you can toss the table sugar into the garbage. Both white and brown sugar are bad for your health, and if you were under the impression that you could replace it with honey or molasses, we have bad news for you. They ain't any better. Next up, drink more water. It's the healthiest drink you can reach for. Sodas, juices, shakes, and smoothies are all your enemies. You can also eat more fruit. Just avoid canned fruit as much as you can. Cooking something that demands a large amount of sugar, like cookies and cakes? You can try extracts instead of adding sugar. Things like almond, vanilla, orange, or lemon. You can also enhance your foods with spices like nutmeg, cinnamon, and allspice. Limiting sugar doesn't mean you start reaching out to artificial sweeteners. Make sure when you swap sugar for non-nutritious sweeteners, you don't end up eating more later. This happens more often than you think. You know what else might help with your triglyceride levels? Managing a healthy weight and reducing carbs in your diet. When you consume too many calories, your body does not get rid of them. It only converts them into triglycerides and puts them in fat cells. This way, when the body needs a source of energy, it taps into these fat cells. But consuming too many calories will not only increase your weight, but also increase your triglycerides. When you try to work towards a healthy weight, using various methods can help bring down the triglyceride levels too. Research shows that when you bring down your weight even as little as 5 to 10%, you'll bring down your triglyceride levels by a significant amount. Low-carb diets are also very effective in reducing your triglycerides. Research related to a number of studies showed that following a diet that has reduced calories can help bring down triglyceride levels within 6 months. In another study, a comparison was made between low-fat and low-carb diets for a duration of 6 to 12 months. It was seen that the low-carb diet had a greater reduction in triglyceride levels compared to the low-fat diet. Don't like the idea of cutting back on sugar or reducing your carbs? Well, you can always get started with eating more fiber. You'll find a tremendous decrease in your cravings for sugar and carb-rich foods. Fiber is another way to reduce your triglycerides. When your diet is packed with fiber, it can help absorb the sugar at a slower rate in your small intestine. The result is a lower level of triglyceride levels in your blood. In one study of more than 100 adults who were suffering from obesity or were overweight, it was seen that fiber in their diet reduced their triglyceride levels. In another study, it was seen that adolescents who ate cereal high in fiber brought down the triglyceride levels by about 50%. There are many foods that are high in fiber. These include fruits, grains, and vegetables. Other sources of fiber that you can include in your diet include legumes, seeds, nuts, and cereals. There's another way to combat high triglyceride levels: increase consumption of unsaturated fats and avoid trans fats. There are a few foods, such as nuts and avocados, that are packed with monounsaturated fats. Similarly, vegetable oils and fatty fish, along with walnuts and chia seeds, are rich in polyunsaturated fats. These unsaturated fats are helpful in reducing triglyceride levels in your blood. Research has shown that monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats are effective in bringing down triglyceride levels, especially when they're part of a diet that's low in carbs. In a study among 450 adults belonging to the indigenous population in Alaska, it was seen that a diet high in saturated fat was linked with higher triglyceride levels, whereas polyunsaturated fats were linked with lower levels. On the other hand, you'll need to make sure you stay away from trans fats completely. These artificial fats are usually found in processed foods to give them a longer shelf life. Fried and baked goods that are prepared with hydrogenated oils also have trans fats. Adding trans fats to food is no longer allowed in the United States. They've been linked with a number of health problems, including increased levels of cholesterol. Multiple studies have shown that when you replace trans fats with polyunsaturated fats, it will bring down triglyceride levels. I really wish we didn't have to, but if you want to reduce your high triglycerides, you have to go easy on your favorite wine, whiskey, beer, and vodka. In short, stop drinking so much alcohol. Most of us would like to relax after a long day. This usually involves a bit of drinking. While drinking a serving or two isn't the worst thing in the world, you also need to remember that they come with a lot of carbs, sugar, and calories. When you drink alcohol, it's likely that the calories you add are surplus to your body's requirements. As such, they would be converted into triglycerides for future use. When you drink a lot more alcohol, the triglycerides get much higher. Another problem with drinking too much alcohol is that it raises the amount of low-density lipoproteins in your liver. These also bring triglycerides into your blood. Research has shown that just drinking a little booze is enough to raise your triglyceride levels by more than 50%. This doesn't mean you have to completely drop alcohol. There are benefits to drinking as long as you're not doing it all the time. When you drink in moderation, the chances of a heart attack are greatly reduced. However, when you do go binge drinking, you're not only increasing your risk of heart disease, but also raising the triglycerides in your blood. Just like triglycerides, cholesterol also impacts your health. Let's keep the conversation going with a couple more videos. How about we discuss good and bad foods for cholesterol? Here's what you need to know. Check out 7 foods that help lower your cholesterol. Or how about 11 foods that are dangerously increasing your cholesterol? Go ahead, click one, or better yet, watch both and learn more about how your body works. Did you know about triglycerides before watching this video? Let us know in the comments below.